Chilies, or what we commonly call peppers in the US, have been cultivated by humans for about 6,000 years. The first people to intentionally grow and breed chilies were indigenous people in southern Mexico and Central and South America. Spicy food with a high concentration of chilies is less susceptible to molding, which is why it's hypothesized that the spicy fruits were initially used to help preserve food in tropical climates where mold can be a big issue. Today, chilies are prized less for their mold-inhibiting properties and more for their flavor and heat. From salsa in Mexico to noodles in Thailand to pili pili in East Africa, chilies can now be found in every corner of the world. So peppers are probably maybe my favorite crop that we grow in the garden. Admittedly, they don't have as many calories as corn or beans, but what they lack in size, they make up for in flavor. I know that I'm a bit of a hot sauce addict, and through the years of our relationship together, Jordan's come to appreciate the heat that chilies provide. But if you're not a hot sauce fan, there's sweet peppers that also provide a ton of flavor and applications in the kitchen and the pantry. We use both hot and sweet peppers to make things like chili flakes, salsa, muhammara, chili powder, chili paste, you name it. They provide so much flavor that really brightens up our dishes, especially in the wintertime when we're living off the land. Pepper seeds are relatively large, so you'll want to plant them about 1/4 inch deep in moist potting soil. We usually plant 2 seeds per cell unless we're growing new seeds that we expect to have a very high germination rate. Peppers are sometimes a little finicky about sprouting in cooler weather, so one way to ensure that they sprout is to keep them in a warm area of your home, like a radiator or a heat mat, until you see the seedlings pushing up from the soil. Then immediately transfer them to a sunny window or under a grow light. Peppers have a very similar growing condition to their tomato cousins, so you should time your pepper planting similarly. You should plan to transplant them outdoors after the average last frost in your growing zone, which means you should start your seedlings indoors at least a month before that date. Okay. Peppers like it hot, so you should choose the hottest and sunniest part of your garden to grow them in. Where we are, which is a relatively cool zone 6B, we actually plant them in these black plastic containers and put them right in our driveway, and they really thrive with all that extra heat. If you're growing your peppers in beds, leave about 12 to 18 inches of space between each plant to give them adequate room to grow and expand. If you're growing your peppers in containers, make sure that the container is at least 3 to 5 gallons in order for it to contain the entire root system of your peppers. Their roots often occupy a larger area than the above ground portion of the plant, and if they don't have room to expand, the plant can become a little stunted and weak. Tomato cages don't really work well for most tomatoes because they're often way too small to contain the sprawling vines, but they are excellent for supporting pepper plants. The cages aren't absolutely necessary, but peppers sometimes tend to fall over under the weight of their fruit, so we like to always use some type of trellis to hold them upright just in case. Often we use a simple stake like bamboo and just tie the central stem to that stake. Peppers are pretty hands-off until it comes time to harvest them, so as long as they're receiving full sun, plenty of heat, and about 1 inch of water per week, you should have no problems. As the growing season starts to wrap up and the first frost of the fall is around the corner, you'll likely still have a pile of unripe peppers hanging off of your plants. But when the temperature drops below 32 degrees, the plants and the peppers will be destroyed. Luckily, you can cut the whole plant down and hang them indoors, and the peppers on the plants will continue to ripen. Just make sure you get them inside before the first frost, and probably none will go to waste. Generally, peppers are pretty pest and disease free, but one common issue in pepper plants is blossom end rot. This disease is exactly what it sounds like. The blossom end of the pepper fruit turns brown and begins to rot. The cause of this disease is a calcium deficiency in the plant, but that doesn't always mean that your soil is lacking calcium. Plants can also develop calcium deficiencies from inconsistent watering. If your peppers are consistently receiving at least 1 inch of water per week and you're still seeing blossom end rot, you should consider adding a calcium-heavy fertilizer or supplement to improve the soil. So when it comes to hot peppers, some of our favorite varieties are fish pepper, chile de árbol, jalapeno, serrano, and Aleppo. The Aleppo, chile de árbol, and jalapeno, especially when they turn red, all lend themselves really nicely to dehydrating, especially if you smoke them in dehydrating. It's just an amazing flavor bomb for whatever you're cooking. There's a new one that I tried growing this year called Ahiriko, and this is really good if you live in a northern climate where you need your peppers to ripen a little earlier than most do. It's super flavorful, sweet, and spicy. As far as sweet peppers go, we really like Jimmy Nardello or Carmen as big, roasting, sweet Italian peppers you can dice up and put in any meal. In my opinion, the easiest method of preserving peppers is hot sauce. Because half of the flavor in hot sauce is coming from vinegar, most hot sauce recipes store for a very long period of time. Technically, they can be water bath canned to make them shelf stable, but we like to make them fresh throughout the year, so we typically freeze large batches of hot peppers and then defrost them to make hot sauce as needed through the year. Normally, freezing peppers is not recommended because it destroys their crunchy texture, but when you're grinding them into hot sauce or cooking them in a chili, the texture doesn't matter anyway. So freezing is a great option if you plan to use your peppers cooked rather than raw. Dehydrating peppers is our other go-to. We like to slice them in half and throw them in our dehydrator for about 12 hours or until they are crisp and completely dry. Sometimes we will put them on our smoker for an hour or so before dehydrating them to create those smoky pepper flakes I talked about that make an excellent addition to any kind of stew or soup. Peppers are a wonderful addition to so many dishes, but we really grow them for the heat. So we focus on hot peppers because you get a lot of flavor in a small package, and then you don't have to take up a lot of space in your garden. As you saw, we really just have a few pots in our driveway and get enough hot peppers to make hot sauce to put us through the whole year, basically. At its most basic, making hot sauce is kind of like pickling in that you're just preserving your peppers by mixing them with vinegar. You can do it as simple as that, or you can get really fancy with it. We do all kinds of different hot sauces. For this one, we smoked the chilies first, which I highly recommend. This is amazing. We also make a lot of fermented hot sauce for a little, gut flora and funkiness. And this one is Scotch bonnets that we mixed with lime juice and cilantro and a few other different herbs, so it's really nice for kind of more tropical dishes. Basically, the sky's the limit for different flavorings, but today we're going to show you just a really simple, basic hot sauce recipe. Today I'm using these red Fatali hot peppers. These are really hot. We also have some habaneros in here. So I'm going to add a little bit of sweet pepper to it just so you can get more hot sauce without blowing your face off when you put it on something. As I said before, if you want to keep it really simple, you could literally just throw this in a blender with some salt and vinegar and call it a day. And sometimes I do that if I'm feeling really rushed, but today I'm going to cook these. I find that that kind of softens up the flesh and gives it a smoother texture once we blend up our hot sauce. As you probably know, touching the inside of a hot pepper and then touching your face or any other orifices is a very bad idea. So I'm just cutting the tops off and not really messing around with the insides too much, so I'm not wearing gloves. But if you were going to take the seeds out to make it less hot, I would recommend wearing gloves for sure. Now that these are roughly chopped, I'm just gonna put them in a pan that has just a little bit of oil and let them start roasting a bit. Now I'm gonna add in my acid. In this case, we're gonna use apple cider vinegar because that's what we've got, but you could use white vinegar, rice vinegar, lime juice, all kinds of different things as long as it's got a lot of acidity. And we're gonna go ahead and add this to our pan. And I'm also gonna add salt and a splash of water just to help the peppers soften up while they're cooking. Now I'll put the lid on and leave that for about 10 to 15 minutes. All right, it's been about 10 minutes. Ooh, watch out for that. This is why you keep the lid on. And we can see that it's much softer. The peppers are much softer. You can kind of squish them a little bit with the spatula. So these are ready to go in the blender. I'm also going to add a clove of garlic here because I feel like that's essential in any hot sauce. We're blended up nice and smooth. Definitely want to let your blender settle before you take the lid off. And now I'm just going to do a taste test to see if I think it needs any more salt or vinegar or anything like that. Ooh, ooh, that's hot, but really good. That's delicious. So if you wanted to make it like store-bought, super silky smooth, you could strain it right now by running it through like a cheesecloth or something. I don't bother with that because I don't care if it's a little chunky. So I just put it right into the bottle. And there you have it, some beautiful and fiery and delicious hot sauce. I keep these in the fridge. If you looked up a canning recipe, you'd have to make sure the acidity was high enough. You could can it, but we don't bother with it because we go through these fast. Peppers are one of those crops we grow not for the caloric value, but for the flavor, which is just as important, maybe not just as important, but very important to be a happy subsistence gardener.